Hello, lords and ladies of YouTube, and welcome back to Nightly Gaming's Nightly Gaming and another episode of Kickstarter Roundup, the show where I talk about all the projects on Kickstarter that I think are worth backing. So, starting out with our first game, City of the Shroud by Abyssal Arts, a tactical fighting RPG where battles unfold in real time and every single player influences a live story campaign. So, this seems like a very interesting game. It has some interesting looking turn-based RPG type battling system on a larger arena. There seems to be a interesting political driven story in this mythical land, and it sounds like it's one of those kind of games where the entire community drives the story forward rather than just an individual player. The graphics look nice, have this nice shell shaded look to it. They have some interesting looking character designs. It seems to have more of a Middle East inspired design, which you don't see too often in games. And overall, it's looking like a lot of fun. There's some good fantasy elements in it. There seems to be some real passion behind this project, and they seem realistic about what they can do. So I would definitely recommend checking these ones out. The next game is The Fifth Expedition by Snapjaw Games. A blend of real-time strategy, dungeon crawler, and survival game, set in the distant aftermath of a world-ending catastrophe. So, this game looks interesting. It's basically like a dungeon crawler with a heavy focus on survival. There's a 3D arena that your characters have to wander through, and you have to maneuver them around traps and through danger, all the while trying to keep them alive and healthy, using times of camping to eat food, rest up, heal wounds, all that kind of a thing. And your goal is to try to make it through these various rooms and these various obstacles with lots of puzzles mixed about them to encourage you to try to get through. So the graphic design so far seems very interesting. It's definitely kind of a dark, almost steampunk style dungeon. It's an interesting look. The gameplay itself looks interesting. The puzzles look fun and difficult. They're sort of a real-time strategy type puzzle where you have to move your character around at the proper times, and you actually have to maneuver all the different units of your party around different obstacles to keep them alive and solve the puzzle. So it looks like it has a fun, challenging style of gameplay, and I think it would be fun for anyone who's looking for a difficult, challenging puzzle game. Our next game, though, is Overload by Revival Productions. Experience the ultimate 6 degree of freedom shooter from the people who invented the genre. So these are the creators of a old school game called Descent, which was back in the days of the original Doom, where you were a ship flying around fighting other ships in being able to shoot all around you. It was very innovative at the time, and they're trying to revitalize the genre and create a game with a very similar feel to that original game. The graphics look actually pretty nice. They're stylized but nice. The character designs are simple but once again nice and very interesting. It definitely has a feeling reminiscent to the old school style games while pulling them up more into modern times. So it definitely looks interesting. The gameplay looks fun, somewhat challenging, but it overall just looks like a good shooter all around. And if you're into that kind of sci-fi flying robot kind of just theme, then it'll also fit in really well for you there. Not to mention these people do have quite a bit of experience working on games, so that makes them much more trustworthy, and they are able to set realistic goals, which makes me believe in their campaign even more. Moving on to our final game, Need to Know by Monomyth Games. Ascend the ranks of the NSA-like Department of Liberty. Will you stand up for privacy or help create an unstoppable police force? So this game is very interesting. This is taking the whole concept of Big Brother and people going through all of your emails and phone records and all of that stuff and having an entire agency where you are going through all these and you have to try to get promoted all the way up to the tops of the company by doing various things. And you can either do things such as benefiting the country and stopping people, or using your information gathering abilities to further your own needs, such as stealing money from people so you become wealthy, doing background checks on people so you can convince them to go on dates with you, blackmailing people, assassinating people. You can do all sorts of things, or you can try to specifically do good for the country and stop people who are dangerous. So there's all sorts of interesting little things here. The graphics are fairly simple. It's sort of just a well-designed user interface with some information, and you have to make decisions. It's a fairly simple, straightforward style of gameplay that they take to a really deep level and really drags you in, especially with the interesting subject matter of the whole concept of privacy and government spying and all of that stuff. So it definitely looks really interesting to me. I would definitely recommend backing this one. They aren't asking for anything in terms of ridiculous amounts of money. They seem to understand what they're going for and what they need. So definitely something I would keep my eye on. With that, we are done with the episode for this week, so let me know in the comment section down below if you guys thought there was any games that I didn't mention this week that deserved to be mentioned, or if I mentioned any games that you don't think deserve to be mentioned at all. Otherwise, if you guys enjoyed the video, you can always click that like button, and if you want to see more of my videos, you can always check out my channel and click that big red subscribe button to be notified when I put out new videos. Otherwise, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!